Hi, and welcome to the Evidence for Nature and People data portal. On this website, you will find evidence from a recent systematic map on the impacts of conservation on human well-being, published in Environmental Evidence in 2016. This data portal is an interactive website where you can visualize, explore, filter, and download data associated with this map for your own personal needs. We intend this map be used by researchers, policymakers, and practitioners of all kinds to find the evidence they need to make decisions. This is a quick how-to on different parts of the site and how to find information that you might need. You can find our website at www.natureandpeopleevidence.org. On the home page, you will find recent updates, news items on the status of this data portal, any updates, and ongoing projects that are associated with this group. You will also find an how-to section on different areas where you can find specific actions and outcomes for how to filter data and how to download it. As well, you can find this information in the About section. We recommend that this is a good place for you to start if this is the first time using this site. In the About section, you will find a Methods section that discusses what systematic maps are and how they are conducted, and the method behind the generation of the data that underlies this portal. There are useful links on the site as well to different organizations that provide guidelines and methodologies for conducting this type of work. In the section entitled About the Data and the Tool, you will find information about how this data was compiled and links to our protocol and final paper that published this data. In the section about the tool, you will find frequently asked questions from users that we have answered in these sections below. These include information on how to explore linkages and how to download data. And as well, there will be a how-to video that you're watching here. Highly recommended first step to look up what types of actions and outcomes are included in which categories, as well as definitions for different major habitat types, biomes, and ecoregions, and study designs carried out, documented in this systematic map would be in the glossary tab here. We use standardized typologies and synthesized frameworks to define and categorize information in this evidence map. So we suggest that you can look up definitions, for example, for species management, and look at the included actions that fell into this category. Similarly, you can do this for human well-being outcomes, major habitat types, biomes, and ecoregions, and study designs. You can access the glossary at any time by clicking on this button, which is at the bottom of every page, that shows and hides the glossary below where you're exploring data. To start exploring the data, you can navigate to the Explore By tab. And here there are three options: Explore by the evidence map, the linkage explorer, and the dashboard. In the evidence map, you will find an interactive graphic that allows you to filter the map of interventions and outcomes by regions, major habitat types, and comparison types. As you change these filters, the map will update to reflect the distribution of evidence according to your filters. Oops. You can also look at the data underneath this map by clicking on the Data tab. Here you'll see a data table that covers each article and the associated metadata that was extracted. You'll notice that some articles are in here more than once, and due to the way that this program disaggregates data, if an article covers more than one intervention or outcome, etc., it will be entered in here twice. For example, this article number 113 looks at area protection for both material living standards and economic living standards. You'll notice as well that some of these variables include codes for different for different interventions and outcomes, you can look up what these codes mean by clicking on the Show Hide Glossary tab at the bottom of the page and typing it into the code section. So if you're interested in what AwareComm means, we would type in AwareComm, and it would show us that this means awareness and communications. If you would like to download the data from this map, you can click here on Download Options. You will need to register to download data. Other ways that you can explore the website include the Linkage Explorer. This displays the full heat map of all interventions and all outcome types, split down by their intervention subtypes. As you mouse over each of these squares, you can click on it and it will indicate how many articles cover that particular linkage between this intervention type and this outcome type. So for example, if you're interested in the impact of enterprises and livelihood alternatives on economic outcomes, you would see there's 186 references that cover this, and you can click on that and it will display a new page with links to each reference which then open to the original article page. Lastly, you can explore the different data types and visualizations available on this website through the dashboard. This is an Explore By and Dashboard. And here you can filter the full data set by geography, habitat and ecoregion, and intervention and outcome type. So for example, if you are interested specifically in interventions and outcomes occurring in Africa, specifically in Southern Africa, and say you are working in one particular country, say South Africa, you can filter that data set and look to see how many articles examine interventions and outcomes in South Africa, 39, how many of those are impact evaluations, and how many of those are open access, and then examine different summary tables, including of what types of conservation interventions are examined, what types of study types are being employed, what types of outcomes are being examined, and what types of ecoregions these studies are taking place in. Now, each of these graphs are produced by an API called Plotly, which means that you can save the graphs as a PNG by clicking on this camera button. You can zoom in and out, and you can conduct different types of toggling and refining of how you're viewing that particular summary with these different actions here. And you can do this for each 4 of these graphs in the front of the dashboard page. You can also view the data that underlies these summaries by looking at the Data Table tab, and here you'll see each article with the different variables that have been extracted for those articles, and you'll notice that some articles are inserted more than once because they most likely examine more than one type of intervention, outcome, or ecoregion or area. Lastly, you can look at a Choropleth map, which maps the distribution of studies over a geographic map. Here, since we've limited the studies to South Africa, you will only see South Africa highlighted. But what you can do is you can reset these filters and view the distribution of evidence over the entire world. And you can filter this by different variables. So say we're interested in examining where in the world we see many studies that look at the impact of area protection on different human well-being outcomes. You can see that the distribution map changes, and you can mouse over this map and see where different articles have taken place. And similarly, since it's created through the same API, you can download this plot as a picture, zoom in and out. And fair warning, it can be slow depending on your internet connection, and mouse over this to view the distribution of data. Soon we will also have an interactive map where you can view at the interactive map tab individual locations of each site, as well as overlay this with different types of data layers. Lastly, if you have any questions regarding this website, please contact myself, Samantha Chang, or Madeline McKinnon, the lead of this group, with anything that any of your concerns. Lastly, we are always looking for feedback on this data portal to ensure that the functionality is designed to meet our users' needs. So please feel free to fill out the feedback section in the contact tab of the website. And you can fill out the feedback section in this form here. Thank you very much and enjoy your time.